What's going on, Guardians? My name is Bosox, and today we are going to be talking about some builds that we can start theory crafting and working on for the fall release of Destiny 2 Year 4. If you didn't hear the ridiculous news that's going to change the way this game is played going forward, essentially they are putting weapon sunsetting and gear sunsetting into motion starting in Year 4, where any weapons from Season 1 through 8 will have a max power cap and essentially will no longer be usable in endgame PvP and PvE activities because their power cap won't be able to go high enough to be viable in those situations unless you were doing some crazy challenge. Do not delete these weapons, however, from Seasons 1 through 8 because they will be usable in any core activities that aren't light level enabled, essentially. So you'll still be able to use them in strikes, old raids, and things like that, as well as quick play and competitive PvP, but not trials or Iron Banner. So with that being said, I hopped right into my dim and was like, what weapons do I have from seasons 9 and 10, which are is the current season? And today we're going to go over some of the builds I have. Two builds I have prepared for Season 12 of Destiny 2, and it's going to be wild. So, my first build here is a pretty standard Warmind Cell build. We have the 7th Seraph Officer Revolver. This one doesn't have a very good roll, so I need to get one with a God roll, and I highly suggest you guys doing that. You can instead choose the 7th Seraph Carbine. Essentially, you're going to pick whichever one, the 180 hand cannon or the 450 round auto rifle, kind of depending on the PvE meta and the sandbox changes 2 seasons from now, which obviously I can't really guess for you guys. So I don't know which of these two is going to be viable moving that into then, but one of these two weapons will be good for creating Warmind cells. Our next gun is Ariana's Vow, essentially a pocket sniper. The one thing about all of your builds moving forward is that exotics are exempt from this max power cap, so exotics will always be viable and always be usable. So Ariana's Vow, obviously a great overall weapon, shield piercing, it's kind of like a mini sniper, and all of a sudden when we move into next season and the season after that, which is the Season 12, those are going to be the 4 seasons which you can use weapons from in endgame PvE activities, and you're gonna have a limited number of shotguns and sniper rifles, and I think Ariana's Vow fits that bill pretty nicely as a hand cannon that does sniper level damage almost. And then finally, we're gonna be using 7th Seraph Saw, again a machine gun from the current season, and I think it's going to be extremely viable moving forward because it's a machine gun where we are going to have a limited number of those, and it creates Warmind cells, and I think Warmind cells are going to be a really high-end build for high-end activities because of the way Warmind cells are able to clear ads. You can combine them with any Warmind cells because moving forward those will be viable for a couple seasons when the DLC launches, when the fall DLC launches, and overall this is going to be a really solid build to use. The second build we have here is a little bit different, more of a fun build, maybe not so much used at high-end PvE activities. However, it does do a lot right. So this build is going to be running Breachlight, the sidearm from Season of the Dawn. Mine has Outlaw Rampage. Sidearms right now are really, really strong in PvE, and overall I think Breachlight's one of the best ones. You could substitute Last Hope if you have a God roll Last Hope, because that will be viable in Season 12. If you did that, you would have to swap your special weapon because Last Hope is an energy weapon. So in that case, you would probably run something like a Perfect Paradox that you got from Season of the Dawn. Second, in this build with Breachlight, we're going to be running Martyr's Retribution. Mine has auto-loading holster and Demolitionist. This is really, really good overall because when I put it away and go back to my Breachlight, it'll auto-reload itself, and I'll be able to pull it back out and fire another ignition grenade. I don't know exactly how you explain it. That like flame thing that comes out of it. Also, it has Demolitionist, which means when I throw a grenade, it auto reloads as well. And then finally for your power weapon, you're going to be using something that does boss damage. This could be used in a room like against a raid boss, whereas our previous build is all about clearing ads, so you may want to use it in a raid encounter where there is no boss. Immediately, I think of something like the second encounter in Garden of Salvation, where it's all about ad clearing. Our previous build's really good at doing that. Something like Whisper of the Worm or Xenophage in our heavy slot is really for boss DPS. Post-editing Bosox here, I know that weapon retirement is a very divisive topic within the Destiny community currently, and personally, I don't know where I come down on it and which side I agree with more until I see how it's implemented this fall. But in the meantime, I hope that this video provided a way for players to realize that, hey, we can think about build opportunities and we can think about new ways to play the game, because that's what Destiny is all about. It's about finding new ways to interact with the sandbox, and I hope that this video showed you guys a couple new ways to interact with the sandbox, and I hope everyone is excited for year 4 of Destiny 2. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys implement some of these builds come year 4. That would be pretty interesting, and I'll see you in another one. Goodbye.